Good afternoon, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's mathematical literacy lesson. My name is Mithala Chia. This lesson is brought to you by Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibon. Grade 12s, we are on our 5th week now with the ATP, and I hope you have done some work with your teacher. You know what is expected of you. Last week we were busy with what? We were busy with tariff systems, and I hope you have concluded all the activities based on tariff systems. You did the water tariff, you did electricity, you did transport tariff. So I hope your teacher has given you all the slides that were remaining for you to practice in class. What you need to remember is that all these aspects, all these concepts, they are being tested, they are examinable. So what we are doing here, we are just merely preparing you for the exams, because we want to put Gauteng back into the sport at 100% or number one, position one. So today, boys and girls, we will be focusing on income and expenditure. Let me just go back so that you can see exactly where we are focusing at. Hey, you know, sometimes technology, as an older person, it will give you some challenges. Now I'm pressing so fast. I just want to get back to where it's supposed to go. Okay, boys and girls, okay. Like I said, we'll be focusing on income and expenditure. We'll be focusing on cost price, selling price. You will see as we do this. Let me just take a moment and then I will just fix my slides quickly so that you can see where we are supposed to be. Now I am too far. You have already seen all the work that I'm going to do with you, and of which it was just a surprise, so that you see, oh, okay, when we talk about income and expenditure, this is what we are referring to. Let me just go back quickly to the first slide. Yes, this is where I want us to be. We'll be focusing on income, expenditure, cost price, selling price, profit and loss, and break-even analysis. I want us to cover all those topics because this is a week 4 topics. When we are in week 4, this is what we are focusing at. Remember, first week you're doing financial documents, then second week you did taxation, third week you did tariff systems. Now we are doing income, expenditure, cost price, and selling price. We have combined the week 4 and week 5 so that at least you have more time to do revision in class with your educators. Boys and girls, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Identify and perform calculations involving income, expenditure, profit, and loss values. We should be able to perform calculations involving that. And then as we continue, we'll do it in detail. Identify the cost associated with producing or manufacturing an item or rendering a services. So we say we'll be able to identify the costs associated with producing or manufacturing an item or rendering a service. And then also determine the cost of production and cost price of an item. With these ones, boys and girls, remember now, if you want to sell something, you need to have this in mind, that there is an amount that I'm going to spend before the actual start of the business. I need to have a capital, the startup capital that I will use to stock the items that I'm going to sell before I can do the actual selling. And then after ordering the stock, and then I put it there, then I need to price it up. I need to have a markup price. Then having that markup price, then I'll be able to say, okay, now, because when I bought the stock, I used this amount. Now I am going to sell this product for this amount. Then it will balance so that I know whether I am making a profit or a loss on this business of mine. And also, how are we going to determine that? We will be doing the break-even. Will determine the break-even values by reading off or estimating the values from the table or from the graph. Boys and girls, this is not new. You started in grade 10. with this concept. Remember in grade 10, when you're in grade 10, what you're doing the graphs that tells a story. And then also in grade 11, you did the patterns and relations. Now we are in grade 12. Now in grade 12, we are no longer naming it or calling it the patterns and relations, but now we are saying we are focusing on the income, expenditure, cost price, selling price, and then profit and loss. That's what we are focusing at now in grade 12. But where did it start? It started in grade 10. Now, boys and girls, we have what we call a terminology table. You need to be familiar with the words that the examiner will use, because they won't just use any word when we are dealing with the income and income, expenditure, selling price, cost price, profit, loss, and break even. Now let's have a look at the first word. Income. What is an income? We say income, it's money received when selling goods or offering a service. When selling goods or offering a service. Remember, when I sell goods, like I made an example to say I've opened a store. And then opening a store at your school, I am operating where? At the tuck shop. At the tuck shop, when I sell you goods, the snacks or the food that you'll be buying from my shop, that are money coming to me, it is an income towards me. Or maybe I go out, what I do, I am fixing the geysers, or I'm fixing the TVs, you know, those people who are working at MultiChoice, who are installing our TVs, our dish. Those people, after they have installed the dish for us, we pay them because they have rendered what? Services to us, and then we have to pay them. That amount of money that you are paying them, it's an income to them. And then we also have expenditure. What are we referring to when we talk about expenditure? Expenditure is payment of goods, payments for goods or service provided. Payment for goods or services provided. Remember I said, these people who are working at MultiChoice, who are installing the dish for us, after they've installed the dish for us, we pay them. To them, it's an income. But to me, as a person who called them, it becomes an expenditure because I have to pay that money out for the services that has been rendered. Like people who are cutting the lawn at home, the garden service people, when they come to my house to do my garden, to clean my yard, I have to pay them because they have done what? They've rendered some services to me. That amount from my side, it will be an expenditure. To them, it will be an income. Now, a profit. What are we referring to when we talk about a profit? A profit, when income is bigger than expense. When an income is bigger than what? The expense. So when I bought this pen, I used how much? Maybe I bought this pen for 12 rand. And then when I sell it, I won't sell it for the very price that I bought it with. I must have a markup price. Then say maybe I will sell it for 25 rand. So if I sell it for 25 rand, how much will be my profit now? Because I bought it for 12 rand and then I'm selling it for 25 rand. That means I'll say, okay, fine. Since this one is out, the 12 rand that I've spent, and then how much am I left? I'm left with 13 rand. That's 13 rand. It will be my what? My profit. So profit is simply means that making more money from what you have used. It is a profit. So we say income is bigger than the expenses. And then when we talk about the loss now, coming to the loss, when expenses are bigger than income. Say, for example, I am planning a party. If I'm planning a party, I know that I'm expecting this number of people, and this is what I am willing to spend for my party. And then I know in my party, maybe I'll be selling some drinks. Then I'll say to them, okay, fine, I'm just going to give you a plate, you know, a finger lunch with a soft drink. The rest you have to buy. Maybe I'm having that party of mine at one of the restaurants, then I'll tell them, okay, fine, you have to buy. But remember, even if when they buy, that money will come from me, and then they will have to pay me back. So if I say, okay, fine, because I was expecting this number of people, 10 people, and then there you go. My colleague here, Nikki Wezul, comes with her friend Lunga. Now I am going to spend more than what I had already planned to spend. So meaning my expenditure is going to be more than the income, for example. So now I know, oh, okay, because Lunga has 8 and then I had planned to spend this money. So now my expenditure will be more than my income if I was expecting to get something back from the company that is hosting my party to say, okay guys, I'll offer you this, you must give me something back at the end. So if they say, your people broke this number of glasses, you lost 1, 2, 3, so that means the income, the profit that I was expecting is no longer there, but my expenditure is more than what I will receive at the end of the day. That is what a loss, because now I would have spent more than that. A budget, boys and girls, when it comes to a budget, we all know about a budget. Today it's what? It's Valentine's Day. And I know you have budgeted for this day particular. It's a list. What is a budget? A list of expected income and expenditure. So you are expecting your parents to give you what? 100 rand for today. You say, okay, fine, I know my mom is going to give me 100 rands, and then what am I going to spend that 100 rand on? You list the items. I'm going to buy a chocolate, I'm going to buy soft drinks, I'm going to buy a rose, I'm going to buy this and that. But you find that at the end, things are not going accordingly. Then the expenditure now is there. So now you need to plan to say, okay, fine, this is what I'm expected, and then this is what I'm going to spend the money on. So meaning it is a list of expected income and expenditure. That is a budget, like a household budget. At home, we do the budget. We know that how much are we expecting? Mommy is expecting this amount of money as a salary that will come into her account at the end of the month, and then how much are we going to spend? So meaning with the budget, you plan on paper, you spend money on paper before the actual spending. So you start spending here to say, okay, this is groceries that you are going to buy to the amount of this amount, and then we say, okay, fine, we'll buy electricity, we'll buy this and that. That it is a budget. Versus what you say, income versus the expenditure. You budget so that by the time it's month end, you already have a plan in hand. Now when you go out and spend, you say, oh, okay, because I've made a budget, I know how much I'm going to get and then how much I'm going to spend. The other term, boys and girls, remember this terminology. It is for the whole topic of income, expenditure, selling cost price, profit, loss, and break even. It's not only based on income and expenditure alone. Now let's talk about the selling price. I have already also explained the selling price. Now we say the selling price, the cost price is how much. The cost price is how much the item costs the business. And then the selling price is how much the cost price now. So boys and girls, if you can see here, it says selling price is how much the business gets from an item. So it's just a mistake here. This one is supposed to go there, and then this one is supposed to go there. So the cost price is how much the item costs the business. That is the cost price. And then the selling price is how much a business is going to sell or get from selling the items. So the selling price is how much the business gets from the items. So that is the selling price, and then the cost price is the amount that you'll be spending. Now with break even, it refers to a point where a business is not making a profit or a loss. So it means if I've spent 50 rand and then I also make maybe I sell my goods to the value of 50 rand. So meaning the expenditure is equal to what? Is equal to the selling. So the expenditure and the income is the same. Where they are equal, there is no profit, there is no loss. And then we say that point, it is what? A break-even point. But don't worry, boys and girls, as we continue, we are going to do everything in detail now. You'll see what is the meaning of this. And remember, all these terminologies, boys and girls, they are examinable. And then when they ask them in the exam, they will say, define or give us the terminology, the meaning of this term, income, based on the given context. That means they will give you a story that you must read. And then after reading that story with the information, then they ask you questions. Remember, when we were doing the financial documents, we said financial documents, they're very important. You need to analyze the statement given, the financial document given to you. After analyzing it, you'll get the questions there. And then this is where also these terminologies are taking place or are in place, they are being used. And then you need to define those terminologies based on the given context, not on what you think, but based on what the examiner is asking you about. Now, boys and girls, we have three types. We have three types of income and expenditure. We have the fixed income, which will be a fixed income and a fixed expenditure. Now, looking at the fixed income, let me say we have a fixed, a variable, and occasional income and expenditure. When you talk about the fixed income, boys and girls, what is it that you are referring to? It is an income that stays the same on a monthly basis. So that income stays the same. If I get a salary of 15,000, I know that will be my income. On monthly basis, I will get the 15,000. That is what I'm saying. Here's an example. A salary or a pocket money or even a rent. With a rent can become an expenditure, can also become an income. What do I mean with it? Remember, now look at this. Before I can even explain to you, look at this one. We said fixed expenses. Examples are salaries, pocket money, and a rent. And the income stays the same on monthly basis. And then with the fixed expenses now, the fixed expenses, these are the expenses that stays the same on a monthly basis. Those expenses, they don't change. For example, paying a rent. When you live somewhere, the landlord will charge you an amount, a certain amount, a rental amount. And then that rental amount, it doesn't fluctuate. It's not like today you will be paying 30 rent as a rent, and then when she wakes up tomorrow, then she say, no, ma'am, just know that month end, the rent will go up to 50 rents. No, it doesn't work that way. The rent becomes what? A fixed monthly expenditure, because you know that I am living here and then I am a tenant, and as I'm a tenant, I have to pay rent to who? To the landlord, and the landlord will charge me that amount, and then each and every single month, the landlord will expect that amount from me. Let's take another example. Insurance. When you pay insurance, like I have a motor vehicle insurance. With a motor vehicle insurance, it's an expenditure. It stays the same on a monthly basis. It doesn't change. If I am paying 999 rand at my way insurance or First for Women insurance, then I know each and every single month they are going to debit that 999 rand. It's not like this month it's 999 rand, and then the next month it's 600. That other month it will be 1,500. No, it is not variable, but it is a fixed one. And then even the savings or the subscription. If I have a cell phone, when you are doing the tariff systems, we also spoke about the cell phones. So with the cell phones, you know, if I've got a subscription or even a DSTV subscription, we know that with the DSTV subscription, we pay 395 if it's a family compact. Or if it is a full compact, we pay what? 899. So that means that amount, it is what? It is a fixed expense, because that is what I'll be paying on a monthly basis up until I downgrade. If I downgrade, then I can pay your 395, or this one, family what compact or something, the entry one, it is to the value of 129. Then I know if I don't go for the maximum one, I can go for this one. Same applies with those who are having a showmax. They pay on monthly basis, so they know that, oh, every month this is what I have to pay, and the amount stays the same. It does not fluctuate. Even the savings, if I have opened a savings account, then I give a bank an instruction to debit the amount. Say maybe I'm saving 1,000 on a monthly basis. I won't say to them, okay, because it's a debit or a stop order. Then I'll say, okay, with a stop order or for savings, every month they will debit how much? The 1,000 rand. They will take that 1,000 rand to my investment account. So it will stay like that up until I come back to them to say, guys, please change that amount. I want to adjust it to 500 because I don't have money. And then I know it will be fixed. They'll be paying, they'll be deducting what 500 because I have changed it, up until again I come back to them to say now you can increase that amount. So that is why we say it is a fixed one. But with the rent also on the inside of income, the landlord is expecting that money, it comes to her, and then it becomes a fixed income to that person. Even the pocket money, if your family is giving you a pocket money allowance, they won't say, this month we are only going to give you 20 rand. If they've budgeted, you know that this is what I am expecting from my parents. They're giving me 500 rand. Then this is what I'm expecting on a monthly basis. It becomes a fixed pocket money. Now let's go to the variable one. The variable one, it is when you talk to income, it is an income that changes on a regular basis. A variable income, it's an income that changes on a regular basis. Now, for example, the commission. If you sell cars, if you work at a dealership, car dealership, you know that, okay, after I have sold a car, this is what I'm going to get. I'll get my basic salary plus a commission. If I sell one car, maybe I get a commission of 3,000. If I sell two cars, then a commission will be what? 6,000. On top of what? On top of my basic salary. Or if maybe I only work and earn a commission, that commission, it will depend on the sales that I have made. So if I don't make any sales, I won't get any commission. So that means it says to me, I must go out and sell the cars so that I can get the commission, I can get more money as an income. And that, like I said to you, boys and girls, it is variable because it doesn't stay the same. If the business is bad, I can sell only 3 cars in a month. But if the business is good, people are having money, people are buying cars, then I know I can be able to sell 6 cars in a month. So my commission won't stay the same, it will fluctuate. Even the interest, an example of an interest, the interest stays the same. If I've invested the money, the interest that I will get from the money invested, it will stay the same. If it is what? If it is a simple interest, it will stay the same. Or again, sometimes you can talk about the percentage interest rate. So the interest rate stays the same. And then I know that if I get this amount, this is what I'm expecting. Or when you talk about interest in simple terms, if I've invested whatever amount that comes to me, it will be what? It will be a variable one, because this month I only saved 1,000 rand, and interest from that savings, maybe they're paying me what? A 1%. So what will be the 1% of the 1,000 rand? And then next month, if they're paying me, if I get an interest on a monthly basis or on an annual basis, then I know that my interest will be based on what? If it's a compound interest, my interest will be based on the balance that I am having at the end of the month. So it will vary on a monthly basis, because my balance will also be variable. the previous month, if I had 1.2 or 1,200 rand as a closing balance, and then when they add an interest, now it's no longer 1,200, but it will be maybe 1,250. And then at the end of the month again, so meaning my opening balance, it was 1,250. After they've added the interest of what, they're no longer going to add the interest of 1,200, but they'll be adding interest on 1,250. So maybe now it becomes 1,275. Same applies with the loans. Remember, boys and girls, when we're doing the loans, we set a loan. When you buy a house, and you take a loan, a mortgage bond, and then with that mortgage bond, you'll be paying on a monthly basis. And as you are paying, they keep on adding the interest, but the interest varies based on the balance that you are having. So can you see these concepts? They link. You have done the loans. Now I'm also talking about the loans. I'm talking about the interest that is variable. Even the taxes, they are variable. So now on this instance, boys and girls, you heard me. I was talking about the loan. So it means the bank will receive that interest. If I have invested the money, I will be the one who is receiving the interest based on the interest rate. So that is why we say it is a variable income. And then when it comes to the expenses, we say a variable expense, it's an expense that changes on a monthly basis or every month. For example, groceries. We have groceries, bills like electricity, water, telephone, etc. Boys and girls, this one is so simple. Groceries. If I bought a hamper last month, that hamper of mine, it comprises of 10 kg of sugar, 10 kg of maize meal, and then 10 kg of rice. And then this month, am I going to buy the very stuff again? And remember, how many are we at home? It's only the three of us. If it's only the three of us, am I going to buy that hamper again? No, I will just top up now on things that are short, or where we are having shortfalls. Then I will just top up. Maybe last month I bought only 9 pack of tissue. So now I know, okay, fine, because I bought 9, now I am running out of tissue. I must top up on the tissue that I have at home. So now, okay, it means I'll have to top up. Now my expenses won't be the same for groceries. Even the bills, electricity. The more electricity, remember when we were doing the tariffs, we said the more electricity you use, the more you will pay. The less electricity you use, the lesser the payment. So it means when you do the variable expenses, if you use more electricity, you will pay more. If you use less, you will pay less. For example, during winter we are using the geysers. We are using the heater. And then we also cook soup, we cook stew, meal, that's what we are cooking. And then as we are busy cooking that, we are using more electricity. That means we have to pay more. And then same applies with the water. It's summer now, it's hot outside. And as it is this hot, then now what we do, we start by using more water now. We'll be taking a shower, we'll be swimming, and then we'll keep on filling the swimming pool with the water. So it means we are using more water than in winter. In winter, I know, can I swim in winter? No, it will be freezing. That water will be freezing, so I won't use it. So that means my bill for water in winter, it will be less, but in summer it will be more. Same applies with the telephone. Telephone, boys and girls, the more phone I use, the more calls I make, the more I'm going to buy in terms of airtime and data. So the more data I use, the more money I'm going to spend. The less data I use, the less money I'm going to spend. If I am used to buying a Telkom LTE for 99 rand, this 7.5 gig day and 7.5 gig night, if I'm used to buying that, I know it will be sufficient for me. But once I use it more, I'm all spending time on TikTok. maybe spending time on Instagram, then I'm going to deplete that data very quick. That means I'll have to spend more. I will no longer buy that data, the LTE for 99 rand. Maybe I'll buy the 10 gig now for 149. So can you see now the expenditure varies? Now let's go to the last one, the occasional income. When you talk about this now, the occasional income, we say it is a once-off income. What is the meaning of a once-off income? A bonus. I don't get a bonus on a monthly basis. I only get a bonus once a year, not on a monthly basis. How lucky can I be if I work and then month end I get my salary and a bonus? Again, come the following month, this month it's February, on the 29th I get paid, and as I get paid I know I get my bonus. Okay, happy, I'm happy. Then come March, I also get a bonus. Now the company will lose money if they keep on giving me the bonuses every month, but it is a once off. I know I get my 13th check once a year. That is why we call it a 13th check, because I'll get my 12 salaries, and then on the following month or in one of the months I'll get paid double. That amount that I get paid double, it is what? A bonus. One will be my salary and then the other one will be my bonus. A gift. On my birthday, somebody just decides to shower me with a gift, and then they send me a voucher, and then that voucher, they say, okay, fine, here's your gift. And then now it's an income. They gave me 10,000 rand. Or a donation. Somebody just decided to say, Shame, let's donate. If they donate 10,000 rand, it is an income towards me. Even the grants, if I have invested, I know at the end of my investment, I don't always get that money, but I'll get it at the end of the investment or of the grants. And then I know it is a once-off. But when we talk about the once-off expenses, now once-off expenses, it's a broken, for example, a broken car, a best geyser, or renovations. Boys and girls, you know those eventualities. You'll have a tire burst. A tire burst. While you're driving, you did not plan. I did not plan to buy any tires. But there you go, bah, the tire burst. Then it is what? It is a once-off expenditure. I will go out and buy what? Buy that tire. I don't buy a tire on a monthly basis. I will only buy that tire if it has burst, or even a geyser. A geyser doesn't burst on a yearly basis or on a monthly basis unless there is a faulty on your electricity connectivity. Then the geyser will burst, and then as it bursts, I have to fix it. It is something that happens once in a while, so that means it will become a once-off expenditure. Even the renovations, do I paint the house on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis? No. I know that if I have painted this year, even when you buy the paint, they will tell you that this paint lasts for 5 years or for 7 years or for 10 years. So I know on those intervals, every 5 years, I have to change the paint, I have to repaint, I have to do some renovations at home. Then I know it will only be on that time. I don't renovate the house on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. I only do it once, and then we call it a what? An occasional expenditure. Now, boys and girls, quickly let's move on. I hope you are still following. Now we said we have expenses that are classified into two types, the fixed and the variable. Now the expenses incurred at a fixed term on a monthly or on a weekly basis, I have already explained that. And then also a variable one, it depends on the sales. The variable expenses, remember when we were talking about the variables items, whereby I said if it's an expenditure, it will vary because now this month I am buying 2 kg, and then the following month I'm going to buy what? 10 kg. So it varies. Same applies when I buy my toiletries. I won't keep on buying a perfume each and every single month, or a makeup as a lady, or even a lipstick on a monthly basis. I know I will buy this this month, this lipstick this month, and then when it's about to finish, that's when I can buy another lipstick. Or if I decide to buy 3 different colors of lipstick, then I'll spend that month. But if the following month, am I going to spend again on the very lipstick that I bought last month? No, that means it will depend on what I am using. So the sales, the variable expenses, they will depend on the sales of items. Calculating income. How do we calculate an income, boys and girls? We say we multiply the price of selling an item by the number of items sold. You must bear that in mind. You take the price of the selling price of an item, you multiply it by the number of items to be sold or that you will sell. So now, if I'm selling a pen for 5 rand, and then if I sell only 2 pens, it means my income will be what? 10 rand. It will be the cost price for one, or the selling price for 1 pen, which is 5 rand, multiplied by the number of pens that I sold, which is 2. Then my income will be 10 rand. If I sell 3, then it will be 5 rand multiplied by 3 pens that I sold, then I will get 15 rand, and so on. So that is why we say when we calculate the income, we multiply the price of selling an item by the number of items sold. And then when calculating the expenses, this is the important part. When calculating the expenses, we add the total fixed variables. We add a total of fixed variables. Remember when we started, when we were doing the definitions, what I said to you, if I open a business, I have to go out and buy some goods to come and sell back. Maybe I place an order at Albany. I have, let's say for example, I have a tuck shop. If I have a tuck shop, then I know that I must pay a rent where I am holding my shop at. So now if this shop of mine is where it's in my area but not at my house, then I have to buy, so I have to pay for the rental. Then that amount that I'm paying for rental, it is a fixed one. So I know, number one, rental, it's fixed. I have to pay it. And then I also have to pay for the what? For the stock. As soon as I pick up a phone and call Albany, that means I have to pay. And then I know every month, maybe I am buying how many loaves? I am buying 100 loaves on a monthly basis. So they will know that for them to deliver that bread to my shop, they are charging me this amount of money. That amount doesn't change. It's a fixed one. If they say, okay, fine, you must know that for every delivery, we are charging you 200 rand. They won't say because we came 3 times, we'll only charge you what? 100 rand. No, they said for every delivery. So for every delivery, it's 200 rand. It's a fixed amount. So I know that, oh, okay, I have a rent to pay. I also have this transport money that is fixed. Then I know 400 rand. It is a total of fixed variables. Sometimes, like I said, if I order the bread once, then I will only pay 200 rand. But if I order the bread 3 times a day, for every delivery, it will be 200, 200, 200. So that means on that particular day, how much am I going to pay? 600 rand. And that 600 is for what? It is a fixed amount, expenses, or a fixed variable for what? For delivering the bread, which is 600 rand plus the rental one. So those are my fixed variables. And then now we say, we multiply the cost of buying an item by the number of items. If they're selling the bread for 5 rand, and then now it is the cost of buying that items multiplied by the number of loaves. 1 loaf is 5 rand. If I buy 10, it will be 5 times 10. If I buy 20, it will be 5 times 20, and so on. So now we say, because it is what? It is a variable cost, then we spend money. We have that fixed amount of money. I know that 200 rand is for delivery. It's compulsory that I will pay. And then now with these ones, now that the items I'm buying, it will depend on the number of items that I am buying. And then it will become a variable cost. And then after that one, I add the fixed expenses to the variable expenses. Remember, I said my fixed expenses is how much? It's 200 rand. And then now my variable expenses, what are those variable expenses? The number of loaves that I bought. If I only bought 3 loaves, or maybe 3 loaves, it's 15 rand, so it will be 200 rand. Now my fixed cost, my total expenses, now it will be my fixed cost. For example, we said it is 200 rand. And then now my variable, as you can see, I am adding. Then my variable cost, now we said it is what? It is a 5 rand times 3. That means here it will be 15 rand. And then I add my 200, which is a fixed one. And then at the end, my expenses will be 215. I hope it's clear, boys and girls. This one, we said it's a fixed one, it's a rental one, or maybe for delivery. And then here it's the number of loaves that I bought. Then I have spent 15 rand for the 3 loaves, and then the expense will add up to 215. Now, boys and girls, calculating the profit or a deficit. When we talk about a profit, we said making more money than the expenditure. So if I am having more, if I've sold goods, my income is more. It's more than what? The expenses. If the income is more than the expenses, I know I will make a profit, because from the amount that I'll be having, the income that I'll be having, I have to subtract the expenses. Whatever that is left, then it becomes what? A profit. And then when you talk about the loss now, or a deficit, we subtract. Okay, fine. Before you can go there, let's have a look at this one. We say for us to be able to calculate the profit, we say subtract the expenses from the income. I've already explained that. So it can either be a profit or a deficit. Like I said to you, boys and girls, if income is more than the expenses, then we register what? A profit, because I'll take the income and then I'll subtract the expenditure. Whatever that is remaining, it will be my profit. If it's positive, we say it is a profit. But a deficit, when do we say it is a deficit? A deficit is when now the income is less than the expenditure. I've spent 100 rand and then I only get 50 rand as an income from the 100 rand that I've spent. So meaning if the going out man is more than the incoming man, then it is negative. That negative, we say it is a deficit. And then sometimes you'll see it will be a negative sign. Maybe if it's supposed to be, it can be a negative 100 rand. And then if it's a profit, then we'll just say it is 100 rand or a plus. So we can identify it by a plus or by a negative if we want to know whether it is a profit or a deficit. We'll see when we do the calculations, but let me say, for example, if I say my income is 50 rand, and then my expense is what? Is 100 rand, and then therefore I'll have a negative answer, a negative 50 rand. So this will become a deficit. This one, it will become a deficit because it is negative. But once I say, let me just do this. Once I say a profit now, a profit, once I say now, I sold these items, I got 150, and then how much did I use? I've used 50 rand to stock. I spent 50 rand, and then after selling, I get 150. Then that means my profit, it will be the income minus the expenses. Here it will be income minus the expenses. And then now What will be the difference? The difference will be 100 rand. Then, as you can see, it's positive. That means it is a profit. You just need to make it that way so that you remember, boys and girls. Yeah, like I said, it is an income minus the expenses. If it's negative, we said it is a deficit. I hope we are still together, boys and girls, up to so far. Now, for a business to make money, it needs to sell goods or services for more than it costs. For a business to make money, it needs to sell goods or services for more than each cost. You can't be buying things for 5 rand and go back and sell it for 5 rand. What about your transport money? What about your fixed cost? The amount that you spent before you can even buy those goods from the shop. You have spent some amount of money. So that amount of money, it must be paid. It must be paid back. How? By selling these goods. And as you sell these goods, you have a markup price. So now we say the cost price is how much the item costs the business, and then the selling price is how much the business gets from selling the item. A business may offer a customer a discount or an item. A discount on an item. This means that the customer will pay less than the selling price for the item. Yeah, we know this one, this bullet, I like it. You always go back home. Mama, there's a sale, go Truworths. There's a sale at Truworths. They said it's less 25% for all Levi's jeans, or maybe for OBR t-shirts. They're selling them for less 20% or less 25%. And then once they say that, your mom, there's a special, it means we are going to pay less for the items that we are buying. So we say this means that the customer will pay less than the selling price for an item if the business gives the customer a discount. Now the profit. We say the profit a company makes is determined by the difference between the selling and cost price. Between the selling price and the cost price. If the selling price is less than the cost price, then the company will make a loss. If the selling price is less than the cost price, then the company will make a loss. Remember, now the company has to get its money back. I've already made examples of this. I don't need to make another example. I've already explained you the profit and the profit in the business. Even at yourself at home, you know how to make a profit out of whatever that you are selling. Now, boys and girls, let's continue. Selling price, cost price, and break even. Now we have what you call percentage profit. What is this percentage profit? Profit is a percentage calculated. A profit percentage is a percentage calculated, which means which compares the relationship between the profit and the cost price. Percentage profit is a percentage calculated which compares the relationship between the profit and the cost price, given by the formula. Percentage profit, it is the profit over what? Over the cost price. The profit that you made, and remember, for us to register a profit, that's when we say income minus expenditure over the expenditure. And then, now when it comes to the profit, you will say, okay, fine, the income minus the expenditure. The difference that you'll get there as a profit, you will divide it by the cost price. And then as you divide it by the cost price, you multiply it by 100. And then it will give us what? The percentage profit. When it comes to the profit margin, a profit margin means that it's the means of comparing business performance over different time intervals. So with the profit margins, it's not only based on what we have right now, but it is over interval. You check, okay, fine. Last month, it was January. How was the profit margin? And then now It's February. Now I'm able to compare the two. I'm able to compare with time intervals. Or maybe we say during the December, did the profit margins go up? How was the sales in December? If they've gone up. And then prior festive season, how was the business? Was it making the profit or what? And then now for us to be able to determine that, so it means I am comparing prior the festive season and during the festive season. So now I'll say the profit margin, it is a profit divided by the income multiplied by 100. So it means it is the profit that the business has made out of the income that the business has received, and then we multiply it by 100. I hope you understand this very well, boys and girls. We said with a profit percentage, we take a profit, we divide it by the cost price, we multiply it by 100. And the profit, remember, we said it will be the income minus the expenditure over the expenditure. Then we multiply it by 100 in simple terms. But with the profit margin, it will be the profit now the company has made out of the income that the company has received, and then multiply it by 100. That is how we calculate what the profit margin. And this profit margin, it is calculated over different intervals, time intervals. So it is not based on what we have only on the store to say, okay, fine, the profit margins, or yeah, maybe no, the percentage profit, this is what we get. But this one, it is compared over time intervals. We are comparing the prices before the profit before the festive season and during the festive season. That is the profit margin. Now, boys and girls, without any waste of time, when you continue, let's talk about the break-even point. I've already explained this break-even point. We said it is a point where expenses and income of a business are equal. A break-even point in a business, it refers to a point where the expenses and the income of a business are equal. What you spend is equal what you receive. That means there is no profit, there is no loss. Then we say it is a break-even, because I don't register any loss, I don't register any profit. It's a break-even. So we say it is an expense where income and expenses are equal. It's a point where income and expenses are equal. And a point where income and expenses graph meet, we call it a break-even point. A point, when you talk about a break-even point, it's a point where income and expenses graph meet. Calculating the break-even, I've already explained this one. We said it is income minus the expenses. The answer is what? 0. So there is no increase, there is no loss. Then it stays the same. No profit, no loss. So the answer is 0. They are balancing. Then we say that is the break-even point. So graphically, how do we represent this graphically? Graphically, the break-even point can be analyzed as follows. On a graph now, looking at this beautiful graph, boys and girls, as we can see here, on this number of calculators, we call it what? Independent values. And then income, we call it dependent values. Income depends on the number of calculators sold. If I have a company, if I am selling 5 calculators or 6 calculators, I will know how much will I make. Let's have a look at this one. How do you know which graph is which? As you can see, the orange graph, or let's start with the blue graph. The blue graph here, it says the blue graph is a cost of calculators. Why does this blue graph start here? Why does it not start at 0? It starts there because there is a fixed amount. It starts with the fixed amount. Remember, before you can sell those calculators, as you can see, the graph is labeled sales of calculators. Before you can sell these calculators, boys and girls, I can just say I am selling the calculators. Then for how much? 400 rand, my boy or my girl. And then you bring them money and say, ma'am, I'm here to buy the calculator. Give me the calculator. Then I say, I don't have any calculators with me. How am I operating that business? That means I have to go to shop company, source these calculators. I have to go to shop company, buy these calculators. After getting them from shop company, and then shop, they will say, okay, fine, we are selling these calculators to you for what? For 80 rand. And then when I come, I will sell them to you now for what? For 100 rand. How much profit will I register with one calculator? 20 rand, because I bought it for 80 rand and then I am selling it for how much? For 100 rand. So my income will be 100 rand, my expenditure will be what? 80 rand, and then my profit will be 20 rand. So now, why? Now you can see, before I can even sell to you, I said I bought that calculator for how much? For 80 rand. So it means here's the expenses already. The fixed expenses are there. The graph won't start at 0. But with an income, now the graph starts where? Starts at 0. Why? Because I have to sell these calculators before I can make an income. It won't be possible to say, I've already received some money without selling. No, I have to sell it. And then after selling it, then I know, oh, okay, fine. I sold one calculator. Then I received how much? 100 rand. So my profit is 20 rand. So if I sell it for 100 rand, then if I don't sell anything, my graph will start at 0. If I sell 2 calculators, I know if you look at this one, if I sell it for 100 rand each, and then if I sell 200 rand, 100 rand each, then if I sell 2, look here, how much will I get? 200 rand. So 2 is for 200 rand, and so on, because I am selling each calculator how much? 100 rand. Now a break even. Let's have a look at this point now. Remember we said this one, it's an income one, because it starts at 0. You have to sell the calculators before you can register any income. And then the blue one, it is an expenditure one, because now we have the fixed expenses. That is why it starts at 1,200. Now, where is your break-even point? Break-even point, we said it is where the company is not registering any profit or loss. So this is the point. This is the point. And boys and girls, this point is very important. When you answer questions based on the break-even point, a break-even point, we say this is where the income is equal to the expenditure. Not income is 101 and then the expenditure is 100 rand. That one is not a break-even point. If it's 100 on the income, also on the expenditure must be 100. Once the blue graph, the orange graph, as you can see here, once the orange graph goes above the blue graph, then the business starts to register what? A profit. If I may just destroy your graph here, at this part, the one that I'm doing this, as you can see, up until the break-even point, up until this point, the company has registered what? A profit. A company has registered a profit, because now you can see the orange part now, the orange graph, it is above the blue graph. And then below, from here, as you can see now, with this one, with this part, the blue part is above the orange one. The orange is below, and then the blue is above. And then up until the break even, the company was registering what? A loss, because the expenditure was more than the income. But once the expenditure graph, the orange graph, goes above with 1 rand or 10 rand, just that margin. Once it goes above what the expenditure graph, then we start by saying now the company is registering a profit. Don't forget, boys and girls, we said below here it is a loss. From the break-even point going downward, we say the company is registering a loss. But from the break-even point going up, it is a profit. The company is registering a profit. I like this topic because this is where you can get a lot of marks for free, just by merely interpreting the graph, just merely by reading and not estimating, by being accurate. You just need to be accurate, get a point where these two meet, and then you identify that point. You say, oh, okay, here I can see if it's 4,000, it's 4,000 on the income, it's 4,000 on the loss, and then the company is at break-even point. It does not register a loss or an income. Let's just have a quick example here, or maybe an activity where we need to make sure that we get to understand the terminology, how to use it. A word bank is provided below. Match the words with the provided explanation. We have already done the explanation, boys and girls. Explanations, boys and girls. Now we say we have a profit, a budget, entrepreneur, break-even income, and allowance. Now let's have a look at number one. Number A, money flowing into a business from the sales of masks. If I am selling the masks to people, once the money is coming in, it's flowing into the business now from the sales. From where? From the sales of masks, from the sales of selling calculators. That money, as it comes in, we say it is an income. Can you see, boys and girls? There, because now money is flowing into the business, it's an income. A plan of action. Number B, a plan of action that shows how you intend spending and receiving money over a specific period. A plan of action. That means you have to plan. Remember what I said to you. You are jotting down everything. You are saying, this is what I'm expecting, and then this is what I'm intending to spend. Do I make an actual spending? No. I spend where? On paper first. And then as I spend on paper on a specific period, we call that one a budget. Remember, I said to you, you must also make a budget. Next year, you are going to university, and at university, you'll be getting an allowance. So if you don't budget, you'll sleep outside. You won't have money for the rent, and then you won't have money for food and even for toiletries, because now you did not do your budget well. You'll say, oh, okay, fine, because my parents are going to give me 1.5. And then you start going out, spending spree. At the end of the day, you don't have a transport money because you did not budget well. So we say a plan of action that shows how you intend spending and receiving money over a specific period. We call it a budget. Now let's go to this one now. The business does not make any profit nor loss. So the business does not make any profit nor loss. We say it is a break even. Sorry, a business has break even because it does not make any profit or a loss. They are both equal. Income and expense, they are equal. So we say it is a break even. And then a person who starts and runs their own business, we say they are the entrepreneur. They are the entrepreneur. And then the extra money, the extra amount of money after all the expenses have been paid, we say it is a profit, because everything, it has been paid off. So whatever that I'm left with, it will be a profit. And then allowance is the amount of money that you'll be getting from your family. Now let's have a look now, boys and girls, at the possible exam questions. How does income and expenditure tested in the exam? Remember what I said to you, financial documents or any document that you need to read and analyze, and you answer questions based on the given context. Now here it says Johnson is a physiotherapist. He was contacted by SARU, the South African Rugby Union, to give the 7 rugby players a massage during rugby tournament that was held in Cape Town during December 2022. Johnson hires 13 masseuse to perform this duty. What is a masseuse? A person, as you can see, boys and girls, what I like about our scenario, they will even explain the words that you don't know, to say a masseuse is a person who provides a professional massage. So Johnson, since he's a physiotherapist, he hires people to come and assist him in his business. And then how much is he charging? We go now back to our table. We are given a table here that explains clearly how does he charge. They say number of sessions per day if it's 1, and then the number of masseuse, how many are they? They are 13. And then income in rents will be 1,755. If there are 2 sessions in a day, that means how many masseuse is he going to use? 26. And then now the total amount he will receive, it will be 3,510, and so on. As you can see, there are missing values here, B, A, and B. Now it says study the table alongside and show the questions that follow. So it's here we just have to study this table above and then study the table above and answer the questions that follow. Remember, when I blend, I had my table on the left hand side, and then now I had my question on the right hand side. And then because of the space, I said, oh, now I'm going to need a space to do the calculations. Then I had to put my slide in the other side. Now it says, show by means of calculations that the income for a single massage is 135. Now we said, how many masseuse did John hire? 13. For how many sessions? For 1 session. And then how much is he going to get? 1,755. So now for us to know what is the price of 1 masseuse, or what is the price of 1 massage, and then we say it will be 1755. Now it says shows that the income for single massage, so I can simply say income is equals to 1755, which is 1,755. I divide it by what? By the number of masseuse, which is 13. And then let's see quickly how much am I going to get. I hope you are having your calculators with you, because as we do these calculations, we need calculators. It will be 1,755 rand. We divide it by 13. Remember, it is the total income that John will receive for a single session in a day. So if it's 1 session, he will receive 1,755. And then it's that single session, how many masseuse were working? 13 of them were working. So it means 1 massage there, it will be 185. So this is the price for a single massage. They are charging 135. Now, boys and girls, did you see where did I get my answer? I am given the income. I have the income. I have the number of people, the masseuse, and then I have the number of sessions. 1 session, 13 people. The income will be how much? 1,755. So if I can reverse and say now, 13. If I just want to check, I say income, it will be the number of what? It will be a single amount or a price per massage multiplied by the number of massages, which is 13. Then I'll still get 1,755 rand. So boys and girls, can you see? For you to get that amount, you have to take the total amount that you made, you divide it by the number of people, and then you'll get how much was the single massage. Now let's continue, boys and girls. 1.2, 2.1.1. Calculate the values of A and B. Now, having a look here, A. Now, when we calculate A, we want to know, okay, how many masses were there? And then income in rands is how much? 14,040 rand. Now, if I can quickly say now, the value of A will be the number of the amount, the income. It will be the income. When I do A, it will be the income. This one, the 14,000. The 14,040 rand. Now I divide it by what? By the price of a single masses, which is what? 135. Then I divide it by 135. The price of a single massage. Then I will say 14,000. Because I'm working with rent, I have to include the rents there. 14,040 rent, I divide it by the price of a single massage. Then it gave me the total of 104. So it means how many massages were there? 104. So it means it is number of sessions per day. If there are 8 sessions, how many massages? 104 are needed to perform that work. So it will be this value of B, the value of A. Now let's quickly do the value of B. How do we get the value of B? B is so simple, because now we have the income. Sorry, with B we are looking for the income. B is similar to the income in rent, and then now we say the number of the amount per massage is 135, single massage. We multiply it by the number of massages, which is 39, and then our amount will be 135 multiplied by 39, which is 5,265 rand. 5,265 rand. Boys and girls, once you get this correct, I'm telling you, already by doing these calculations, I can simply say I have 6 marks or 4 marks, because now I am doing what? I am performing the calculations. So it will be 1 mark here for multiplication and 1 mark for the answer. And then here, because it's given, I have to divide, then also 2 marks. So 4 marks by just doing these simple calculations. So can you see if you are able to interpret? Because remember I said you have done this work in grade 10 and 11, graphs that tells a story, also the patterns and relations. This is what we are doing now. Now let's have a look at this one now. It says complete the following formula to calculate the total income per session. How am I going to calculate the total income per session? So the income will be the massage, the price for single massage, which is 135. It is the price per massage, multiplied by the number of massage. So if there will be 13, then it will be 135 multiplied by 13. If it is 65, then it will still be 135 multiplied by 65. Let's quickly verify with this one. Let's quickly verify this one using the formula. We said it is 135. The price per single massage, we multiply it by 65. Let's see if we'll get the same answer just to check if our formula is correct. 135 multiplied by 65, and then we still get the same amount of 8,775 rand. And boys and girls, this is so simple. If you buy a cold drink, a can of Coke, we know that let's say 330 mils, it's 8 rand. If I buy for 8 people, so it will be 8 rand times 8, which will be 64 rand, because it's 8 multiplied by 8. If I am buying for 2 people, it will be 8 rand multiplied by 2. I will only pay how much? 16 rand. So it's simple for you to calculate the income. Now let's continue, boys and girls. Now we are doing multiple questions, how the exam ask the questions in there, how the examiner asks questions in the exam. Now let's have a look at this one. HRM Domestic is a company that helps domestic workers to find jobs. They ensure that domestic workers are not underpaid for the work they do. Income is based on hourly, weekly, and monthly rates. Workers work for 45 hours per week and 195 hours per month. Study the table below this table to answer the questions that follow. Now we want to find the value of C, determine the value of C, the minimum hourly rate for 2022. How are we going to get that one? We said now, for a weekly, if this person C is equals to the income that they will receive divided by the number of hours worked. Number of hours per week. Now, how many hours per week? 45. And then, because we are checking, we are just using a weekly as an example to see if we will get that amount. And then we say 1,043 rand 55. We divide it by number of hours, 45. Let's quickly do it. It's 1,043. We divide it, 1,043 rand 55. We divide it by 45 hours. If we divide it by 45 hours, so meaning on a hourly basis, the people will get 23 rand 19 cents per hour. They will get 23 rand 19 cents per hour. Now let's use this one, the monthly one, and see if we can still get the very same amount. If we use the monthly one, we can say C is equals to the income. I want to rewrite it. It will be the income for 4,522 rand 5 cents, and then we divide it by the number of hours per month, which is 195. I hope you are having your calculators, you are doing it with me. It will be 4,522 rand 5 cents. We divide it by 195, and then we still get the same answer to be 23. We get the same answer to be 23 rand 19 cents per hour. If I do this, meaning per hour, they will be paid 23 rand 19 cents. As we can see, boys and girls, I have used the weekly rate, the weekly income. I've divided it by 45, the number of hours that they work, and then I get the answer to be 23 rand 19 cents. Even if I have used the monthly one, and then I divide it by the number of hours per month, 195 hours. If I do this, and then I get the same answer, so meaning the value of C here, it is 23 rand 19 cents. Let's move to the next one. Now it says, determine the percentage increase in monthly income rounded off to 1 decimal place. Rounded off to 1 decimal place. You know what I like? We are given the formula. I don't need to scratch my head because they said determine the percentage increase. Now they give me the formula. And then now, let's see. They said to us, determine the percentage increase in monthly income. Now, monthly income, here it is. We'll be focusing on this one, the last one, the monthly income. Now, January to December 2021, it is 3,722 rand 55, and then January to December 2022, a new income, it was 4,522 rand 5 cents. Now we want to see the percentage increase. Then you'll say the new income of 4,522 rand 5 cents. We subtract the old income of 3,722 rand 55. We divide it by what? By the old income, which is 3,722 rand 55, and then we multiply it by 100. And then as I do this quickly, I'm having my calculator. I am not using my head. I know I can calculate, but this, it will give us the correct answers with accuracy. We need to be accurate. So it's 4,522 rand. 4,522 rand 5 cents. We subtract 3,722 rand 55, and then we get our answer to be 799 rand 50 cents. That is new minus old. So we have a difference of 799. We divide it by what? By the old income, which is 3,722 rand 55, and then we multiply it by 100. So now we divide this amount by 3,722 rand 55, and then we get the answer. We multiply it by 100. It will give us, the final answer is 21,4772132. And then they said you must round off our answer to 1 decimal place. So if we round off our answer to 1 decimal place, it will be 21,5. It will be 21,5 rounded off to 1 decimal place. 21,5%, because we are calculating the percentage increase. I hope you have seen what I was doing, boys and girls. Let's move on to the next one. The next one, it says, Steffi asked if she could work overtime to earn extra money. The person she works for agreed that she could work on Saturdays for 200 rand per day for only 5 hours. Determine her hourly wage for that day and state whether she was paid the correct minimum wage per hour for 2022. Now, if it's 200 rand, so her income, let me start here, her income per hour, her income per hour will be 200 rand divided by 5 hours. The answer will be 40 rand. So it means she'll be paid 40 rand per hour. Yes, she will be paid more than, remember now, if I end here, I did not answer the question in full because the question says determine her hourly wage. Income per hour, we have determined it to be 40 rand for the day and state whether she was paid the correct minimum. Meaning now I have to write a reason. My reason it is she is paid more than a minimum wage of 23 rand 19. cent. So it means even if it was in 2019, she is still paid more, because in 2019, hourly rate was 19 rand 9 cent, and then in 2021 it was 19 rand 9 cent, and then in 2022 we said it is 23 rand 19 cent. So it means she is paid more than a minimum wage. So she is well paid if she works overtime. Now let's continue, boys and girls. Miss Brenda has opted to host the matric farewell at a different town. A friend referred her to 2 different venues, and she's given 2 separate prices, which are outlined as follows: Riviera Hotel, and then also a signature hotel. Now at a Riviera Hotel, their venue booking, it's 1,500, and then cost per person for the meal catering, it's 150, and then for the DJ, disc jockey, it's 1,200 rand, and then at the signature hotel it's 1,300 for venue, and then 220 for catering. So there's no music there. There's no DJ. Now let's see how many people will be in attendance. So it's always simple for you to interpret. You read the questions and then you continue. And then now we say there will be 80 learners, 15 teachers, and a guest speaker who will attend the farewell. Calculate the difference between the total cost for the rental of the 2 venues with the maximum number of people attending the matric farewell. Now let's see now. For the first one, Riviera. Let's start with Riviera. What will be the total cost? Riviera Hotel. The cost there, it will be 1,500 for the venue, plus 150 multiplied by how many people in attendance. Let's quickly add them here. It is 80 learners plus 15 teachers plus a guest speaker. How many all in all? It is 96. So we have to multiply. And then now remember also the DJ. We also have to add the DJ's amount there to the value of 1,200. So the total cost there, it will be for Riviera Hotel. For Riviera Hotel, it will be that 1,500 plus 150 multiplied by 96. I get the amount to be 14,400. Then I also add the 1,200 for the DJ. So I add the 1,200 for the DJ, and then 1,500 for the venue. So the total amount for Riviera, it will be 17,100. And then for the signature hotel, let's go to the signature now. Signature hotel, it will be the venue 1,300 plus 220 multiplied by how many people? 96. So quickly, it's 220 multiplied by 96. It will give us 1,300 plus 21,120. So if I add 1,300, the amount will be 22,420. So this is for signature hotel. Now the difference, because we haven't answered the question. The question says the difference. Now we say quickly the difference. Difference will be 22,420 minus 17,100. Minus 17,100. My answer will be 5,320. Now, boys and girls, we have answered the question. 3.1.2, draw a graph showing the cost of Riviera Hotel for learners only on the same set of axes. Draw a line. Now listen to this one. It says, draw a graph showing the cost for Riviera Hotel for learners only and the same set of axes. Draw on the same set of axes. Draw a line graph showing the cost for the Signature Hotel for learners only. Now here, they've given us the table. We have to draw the graph. Now, how do we start with our graph? Now, graph Riviera. Riviera starts where? The coordinates, it says 0 and what? 0 and 2,700. So where's 2,700? You can say it is here. 2,700. So it means graph for Riviera, it will start here at 2,700, just below 3,000. And then we say that is point number 1. Now we go to 10. At 10, it's what? It is 4,200. Now you go to 10 and then it says 4,200. This is just above here. Above what? 4,000. It says 4,200. And boys and girls, you know what is nice? You can look for the amounts that are directly on the line, and then it will be easier for you to plot. So we have plotted the 2 points. Let's go to the last point. The last point, it says 80 rand, 80 learners to the value of 14,700. So 80 learners to the value of 14,800. 14,700. And then you go to 14,000. And then it can be here. Then what I do, I just join the points. I can plot only 3 points, and then I know my graph will go just like this. It will go straight because now I don't have a ruler. Yours you'll be having a rule. Now at 20 it's 5,700. As you can see, at 20 it's 5,700. 20 it's 5,000. So that means my graph, it's so skewed, it's supposed to go like this. My graph was supposed to go like that, a straight line. Discard this one, boys and girls. Then you get the top one. Now the second one, it starts at 1,300. It's 1,300 for the Signature Hotel, and then it starts here 1,300, and then it ends where? At 18,900. 18,900. It's 18,900. So for 80 learners, 18,000 is there, 900 just above. So it will start here and then it will go straight up until 18,900. So now this is where they meet. As you can see, now my graph is not so clear. I needed to delete this one, but I hope you'll be able to delete. As you'll be deleting, boys and girls, this point will come so nicely where it says at 20, it is break-even point. 5,700 for Riviera, and then 5,700 for what? For Signature. So if the examiner asks you break-even point for the Signature Hotel and Riviera Hotel, by merely looking at the table, it is at 5,700 for 20 learners, and then the amount is 5,700 rand. 5,700 for both Signature Hotel and Riviera Hotel. Boys and girls, let's do this last one because I've planned so many slides, but the time is not on our side. Let me just finish this question, and then the rest of the questions, you'll do them with your teacher. But at least what I have done, I have already touched on the basics. You know what is expected when you answer the questions based on the income and expenditure, and how to represent the income on the graph and the expenditure, and how to analyze or identify the break-even point. Simple. This one, it's exactly the same as with the one that you have just done. Here we to calculate what? The cost B. Now it says calculate the missing value B. And then now with this one, look at it. It starts at what? At 1,500. 0 mirrors, fixed amount, it's 1,500. And then 1 mirror. If they sold 1 mirror, or 1 mirror will cost how much? 2,190. Now, what will be the cost, the actual cost for a single mirror? The actual cost for a single mirror now, let me quickly do it here. The cost for a single mirror, it will be this 2,190 minus the fixed cost, which is 1,500. Let's quickly see 2,190. We subtract 1,500. So meaning the cost for the single mirror is 690. So with all these values that you see here on the cost, it will be 1,500 rand, which is a fixed cost, plus the amount, the number of mirrors sold multiplied by the price per mirror. So if I can simply say, I want you to do the formula for this one, I can quickly say, because now I just want to wrap up, time is no longer on my side. Here I can simply say, okay, fine. Now the cost here for B, we said the cost for one mirror is 690, and then the income is 4,000. So now we want to know, it will be the cost for the mirror, it will be 1,500 rand. We are calculating B now, boys and girls, and then plus how many now? Plus the 4 multiplied by what? 4 is number of mirrors multiplied by the price per mirror, which is 690 rand price per mirror. Then B, let me just do this, B will be 1,500 rand plus 4 multiplied by 690, which is 2,760 rand. And then the total, it will be 2,760. We just quickly add 1,500 rand to it. So the value for B, it will be 4,260. So the value for B here is 4,260. And just by merely answering that question, I can tell that the break-even point for the cost of the mirror and the income is at 4. After they when they sell 4 mirrors, the company will be break-even, because now there will be 4,260 as an income, and then 4,260 as a cost. So it is a break-even point. There is no profit, there is no loss. I hope you can see that, boys and girls. You will continue answering these questions with your teacher. Okay, just the last one. I know I've been saying the last one, and now the producer is at me now, looking at me to say I must finish up because it's time up for me. Then the coordinates for the break-even point. I have already explained the coordinates for the break-even point. What are the coordinates? It will be 4 is to what? Is to 4,260 at break-even point. At that point, 4 to 4,260, that's where the company is not registering any profit or any loss. Boys and girls, it was nice having this session. I've enjoyed myself. Now I didn't even want to stop. As you can see, the slides are continuing, but because we have already discussed this, I hope you'll be able to answer these questions with your teacher on your side. And thank you for watching. Please, boys and girls, when you get back home, you can still log in and watch these videos at the comfort of your house. What you can do, you just go to your YouTube, and then on your YouTube you go to Phakama research development, and then you click there. It will show the sign of the Phakama. Then you click there on the live lessons. Even if it's in the afternoon after these lessons, it will say Phakama broadcasting. And then when you click there, it will say live streaming starts soon. And then you do the fast forward on your phone. you do the fast forward, and after you do the fast forward, then the video will start playing. You can watch all the videos. They will be there up until you write at the end of the year. Even next year, if you want to rewrite, you can also help your friends at home. They can also log in, watch all the subjects, they are there. So what you just need to do, you log in, you go to your YouTube, and then YouTube, you say Pagama Research Development, and then you click there, and then as you click there, it will show all the videos, and then when you say play, it will say live streaming starts soon. You do the fast forward, you are able to watch. Thank you for watching this lesson. I hope I will see you next time. Stay well. Thank you. Bye-bye.